All right, ready to dive into the world of glass beveling. Today we're focusing on nailing that interview using RoleCatcher's awesome guides.
Yeah, it's a fascinating field. A lot of people don't realize that it goes way beyond just windows.
Right, it's mirrors, storefronts, even art pieces.
Exactly. And it requires a lot of precision, working with different types of glass. And of course, safety is a huge thing.
Absolutely, those career guides really emphasize that. So let's jump into some questions a potential employer might ask.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, starting with an entry-level one, they always like to ask, what inspired you to become a glass beveler?
That's a classic. What I would say is you really want to showcase your genuine passion for the craft.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like what sparked your interest? Was it a family connection or just that fascination with the material?
Exactly. Or maybe you're just drawn to the meticulous nature of the work. It's all about letting that enthusiasm shine through.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. It's about showing them that you're not just there for a job. You're there because you really love the work. And from there, what kind of follow-up questions might they ask?
Well, they might ask something like, what aspects of glass beveling are you most excited to learn more about?
Oh, that's a good one. Or what about like, where do you see yourself specializing in this field?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Those follow-ups are really all about seeing if you've thought about your future in this career.
And this is where I think RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful.
Totally.
Like it could tailor your answers to really show them that you've thought about your long-term goals.
Right, because the AI analyzes thousands of job descriptions and interview responses, so it really helps you understand what those employers are looking for.
Okay, let's move on to a mid-level question. What experience do you have in glass manufacturing? So how should someone approach this if they've got some experience under their belt?
I would say this is where you really want to detail those specific duties and technical skills you've mastered.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Like, were you operating any grinding or polishing equipment? Were you responsible for quality control?
Yeah, and be specific.
Yeah, and whenever possible, quantify that experience.
Okay, and what about, what if someone's experience isn't strictly manufacturing, but they've worked with glass in other ways? Like, what should they do?
Oh, I would say think broadly. Like if you've done installation or repair or even, artistic projects involving glass, that all shows versatility and a passion for the material.
Yeah, it's like you're telling the story of your experience with glass.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And using different facets of your skill set.
Okay, now a question for those aiming for senior level positions.
Mm-hmm.
How do you ensure quality in your work as a glass beveler? This feels like a big one.
It is. It is. So here's where that meticulous side comes in. Really talk about the specific steps you take to ensure each piece meets the highest standards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you have a system for double checking measurements? Are you super careful about cleaning the glass before and after processing? Talk about the tools you use, like a digital protractor for those precise angle measurements.
So it's not just saying I'm detail oriented. It's about actually showing them.
Right.
Exactly.
And then they might even ask, can you tell me about a time you identified a quality issue and how you addressed it?
That's a tough one.
So be ready with a specific example that shows your problem-solving skills and that commitment to delivering top-notch work.
Okay, good advice. And RoleCatcher's AI can help here too, right? It can analyze your answers and give feedback to make them stronger.
Absolutely.
Another mid-level question. How do you stay up to date with industry developments and changes?
I think for this one, think beyond just your work experience.
Okay.
Like, do you attend any industry conferences or workshops? Do you subscribe to trade publications, things like Glass Magazine, or follow any online forums where bevelers share knowledge?
Yeah, show them you're really dedicated to growth.
Right, because it shows you're not just content with what you know today, but actively seeking out ways to improve your skills.
Okay, now a question that might be thrown at senior level candidates. How do you approach a project when you're not sure how to proceed? This feels like a curveball.
It is, but it's a great opportunity to really shine.
Yeah.
So talk about your research process, Do you consult technical manuals or reach out to colleagues for advice?
Yeah.
Or are you the kind of person who likes to experiment with different techniques to find the best solution? Show them you're resourceful, not afraid to seek out knowledge.
So it's not about always having the answer, it's about knowing how to find it.
Exactly, exactly. And then they might follow up with something like, can you give me an example of a time you encountered a challenging technical problem and how you overcame it?
Okay, so have a story ready.
Yeah, be prepared to share a specific story that highlights your problem-solving skills and that willingness to think outside the box.
All right, let's get one more question in before we wrap up this part of our deep dive. This one is for those mid-level candidates. What specific skills or techniques do you use to create complex glass pieces?
Okay, so this is where you can really dive into the specifics.
Yeah.
Have you mastered things like mitering for those angled edges? Or creating intricate beveling patterns using a combination of grinding and polishing? Maybe you have experience with specialized glass types like laminated or tempered glass.
Hmm.
It's your opportunity to showcase the depth of your skill set.
And all that attention to detail we talked about earlier really comes into play here.
Absolutely. Highlight your ability to work with precision, making sure that every single cut, every angle, every polish is executed flawlessly.
And I imagine a follow-up question to that could be, can you walk me through the process of creating a specific type of complex bevel? So be prepared.
Right. They're really testing your knowledge here.
This has been so helpful. We've covered a ton already, but don't go anywhere. We've got more insightful questions and strategies to explore in the next part of our deep dive.
All right, welcome back. Ready for round 2 of interview prep?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready to learn more strategies to help me ace that interview.
You got it.
Yeah.
Remember, solid preparation leads to confidence.
That's true. Okay, what's next?
Well, let's tackle that question that always comes up, especially for those mid-level roles. What are your salary expectations?
Ooh, that's always a little bit awkward. Feels like a trick question.
It can be, yeah. But it's important to be strategic. It's about showing you've done your research and that you understand your own value.
So what's the best way to answer without underselling myself or, pricing myself out of the running?
Right. Well, first, do your research. Use sites like Glassdoor or Salary.com to see what other glass bevelers are making, in your area.
Makes sense.
Then think about your own experience, specialized skills, any certifications you have.
So it's really about knowing your worth.
Exactly. And be prepared to talk about what you bring to the table beyond the technical skills, too. Good communication skills, teamwork, all those things add value, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And this is another area where RoleCatcher can be helpful.
Oh, how so?
It can actually analyze salary data, job descriptions, and help you determine a good salary range for that specific role and location.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it gives you tips on how to phrase it all during the interview.
Okay, what about a curveball question like, how do you handle stress and pressure in a fast-paced work environment?
Yeah, that's a tough one. This is really about showing them your emotional intelligence,
Right.
that you can stay calm, focused, even when things get hectic.
So what's the best way to answer honestly, but without sending up any red flags?
Share specific ways that you manage stress. Do you take short breaks, prioritize tasks? Maybe you practice mindfulness or have a relaxation routine after work.
You're right. It's about showing them you've got those healthy coping mechanisms and you can stay positive.
Exactly. And if you're not sure how to best present it, RoleCatcher can analyze your response and give you feedback, make it even stronger.
Okay, good to know. What about a question that seems to come up for those senior level roles? Describe your leadership style and how you motivate a team.
Yeah, that one definitely requires some self-reflection.
It does.
So really think about a time when you successfully led a team or a project.
Okay.
What were your key strategies? How did you communicate? What were the outcomes?
It's like going beyond just saying, I'm a good leader, and actually giving them examples.
Exactly. Were you good at fostering collaboration, encouraging open communication, delegating tasks effectively?
Yeah, and don't be afraid to share those success stories.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And if you've gotten positive feedback on your leadership from previous team members, mention that. Adds credibility.
That's a good point. And again, I imagine RoleCatcher's AI could help analyze those stories and tailor them to the specific role.
You got it. Absolutely.
Okay, what are your professional development goals for the next year?
Okay, so with this one, you want to demonstrate ambition and a commitment to learning, right? Employers want to see that you're not just going to sit back and coast.
So how do I pick the right goals to share without being too vague or unrealistic?
Think about areas that align with the company's mission. Maybe mastering a new glassworking technique like etching, or getting a certification in architectural glass design.
Yeah, and show them you've thought about how your growth can help the company too.
Exactly. And if you've already found resources or training programs, mention those. It shows initiative.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like that. And I guess this is where RoleCatcher could help connect me with resources and tailor those goals, right?
It can, yeah.
Okay, here's one that tests your problem-solving skills. Describe a time you had to make a difficult decision on a project. How did you approach the situation?
With these behavioral questions, it's all about showing your thought process, your decision-making skills.
Okay, so I should choose a situation where I had to Really weigh different factors, consider all the options.
Exactly. Did you get input from others? Research different approaches and be specific, highlight what influenced your decision.
And it's okay if the outcome wasn't perfect, right?
Yeah.
As long as I learned from it.
Absolutely. That's what matters. Yeah. Shows growth. And RoleCatcher can help you analyze those stories and highlight those key takeaways.
Okay, good to know. Here's one that seems especially relevant for Glass Bevellers. How do you stay up to date on the latest safety regulations?
Yeah, that's a big one. You need to show them you're proactive about safety, that you're always learning.
So how do I do that?
Talk about any industry publications you read, like Glass Magazine, or organizations you belong to, like the National Glass Association.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. What about those conferences and workshops?
Those are great too. And any safety training courses, especially ones specific to glass beveling.
And I guess it's good to mention company-specific guidelines too, right?
Yeah, definitely. If you know any internal safety protocols from previous jobs, mention them. Shows you understand how to adapt.
And I guess RoleCatcher can help me research a company's safety guidelines before I go in.
Absolutely.
Okay, what about this question? Why are you interested in working for our company specifically?
This is your chance to show them you've done your research and that you're genuinely interested.
So I should check out their website, mission statement, recent projects, all that.
Yes, look for things that connect with your own interests, maybe their commitment to sustainability, innovative designs, their reputation for quality.
Yeah, find that authentic connection.
Exactly. And any positive reviews you see about their culture, mention those too.
Okay, and I'm sure RoleCatcher can analyze that company data too and help me connect it back to my goals.
Absolutely.
Okay, what about when they ask, do you have any questions for us?
This is your chance to learn more about the role and company, see if it's a good fit for you.
So what kind of questions should I ask?
Have a few prepared, but be ready to ask follow-ups based on the conversation. You could ask about the company culture, professional development opportunities, or day-to-day responsibilities.
What about specific projects or challenges they're facing?
Those are great. Shows you've done your research. You could also ask about team dynamics, company vision, even the leadership style of your potential supervisor.
Yeah, it's all about showing them I'm engaged, that I'm actually thinking about this.
Exactly. And remember, those questions go both ways.
You're right. Okay, this has been super helpful. But wait, there's more, right?
There is. We'll be back for the final part to wrap up and share some key takeaways to really help you shine.
Okay, welcome back. It's time for the final part of our Glass Beveller interview prep.
Yeah, we've covered a lot, from the career path to tackling those tough interview questions.
So let's bring it all together. Help me walk into that interview feeling confident and prepared.
You got it. Remember, you've got the insights, the strategies, and even AI tools like RoleCatcher to help you out.
Right, so what are the key takeaways here? What do I really need to remember?
Well, first and foremost, let that passion shine through. Interviewers want to see you're genuinely excited about glass beveling.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Think about what drew you to this field in the first place, Was it the artistry, the precision, the satisfaction of transforming raw glass into something beautiful?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Let that excitement show in your answers. It's about showing them you're not just looking for any job.
Right, I get it.
Yeah.
And staying up to date on industry trends shows that passion too, right?
Exactly. Talk about those new technologies, sustainable materials, computer-aided design, all that.
Okay, good point. What about that precision and attention to detail we talked about?
Oh, that's huge. Glass beveling demands accuracy, so showcase your ability to measure, cut, and assemble with care.
Okay, so mention specific tools and techniques.
Yes. Like if you've used a digital protractor or a water-fed grinder, talk about it.
And explain those quality control measures too.
Absolutely. How do you inspect your work? How do you make sure those bevel angles are consistent? Show them you care about quality.
And of course, we can't forget about safety.
Right, safety is paramount. Interviewers need to know you prioritize a safe work environment.
So I should demonstrate my knowledge of those protocols and regulations.
Yes. Talk about using personal protective equipment, how you assess risks, implement safety measures.
Okay, got it. Now let's talk about RoleCatcher. It seems like a really valuable tool for interview prep.
It is. Think of it as your secret weapon. That AI-powered CV tailoring can help you highlight the most relevant skills.
Yeah, and that huge library of practice questions, it's amazing.
Over 120,000. It's like having a personal coach. But the best part?
The AI feedback?
Exactly. Practice your answers and get personalized suggestions to improve.
It's like having a virtual mirror showing you how you come across.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So remember, you're not just going into that interview, you're walking in prepared, informed, and ready to showcase the best version of yourself.
I feel a lot more confident now, that's for sure. I'm excited to put all this into practice.
Good. Believe in yourself, project that confidence, and let that passion shine through.
I will. Thanks for all the great advice.
You got this. Best of luck with your interview. We're confident you'll impress them with your knowledge, skills, and enthusiasm for this amazing craft.
That's it for this deep dive into the world of glass beveling. We hope you found these insights helpful. Good luck with your interview prep, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.